One day I will crush him. Humanely.
This is a fictional mindbender. Kara Zor-El is the most misunderstood character in my adventures with Superman. In many ways, she's very similar to Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan, in that people see Kara as the warrior girl, or Superman with a skirt, or Jimmy Olsen's crush. And let's stop there, because Kara is the most nuanced, contradictory, and philosophically interesting character in the entire series. She's a walking clash of extremes, a genocidal soldier who genuinely loves beauty, a warrior who craves affection, and a newcomer who refuses to feel like a stranger. And if you only judge her through Jimmy Olsen, then you're missing the entire point. So today I'm going to basically break down Kara outside of Jimmy Olsen as an individual. Though yes, that particular relationship does expose a lot about her as well. But I want to talk about her identity, worldviews, and flaws and growth, and why she works only when contrasted against others, because Kara isn't just Superman with her dress. She is something more far compelling. She enters the story as a brainwashed soldier of Brainiac, fighting for the now defunct Kryptonian Empire. But the key is this, is that the warrior identity wasn't just programming, it was part of her. Kara sees the world through a battlefield lens. You're an enemy or you're not. You're a threat or you're safe. You're honest or you're not. And this creates the illusion of simplicity, but it's actually a coping mechanism. She's gentle, curious, and open. Many interpret this as her being just naive, but it's more that she organizes her world through the clarity of combat. And that clarity is very simple. It's black and white. There's no nuance. Unlike Clark Kent, Kara doesn't just solely rely on brute strength to win. She is skilled, tactical, and decisive, even when she's without Brainiac. And honestly, I believe that she could take Superman, given that not only does she have the strength, but the skill to know how to use that, whereas Clark wasn't raised that way. So it actually makes sense for the later arcs where she would be the one training her future niece and nephew. She's a warrior by nature, but not by programming. But Kara also has a fascination with other species and other cultures, their art, their beauty, and simple things like ice cream. That isn't naivety, it's the appreciation of life. It's joy, genuine joy. Because Kara feels, again, things simply. So when she experiences joy, it's very genuine. It's very blunt even. And that joy just happens to sit right next to the darkest part of her past. She has committed genocide, wiped out entire civilizations. Not by choice, of course, but the consequences still live inside her and she still lives with that. She crashes out emotionally whenever she's confronted with it, actually. This duality is what makes her compelling, because she wants to be a protector, but she knows that she's a capable killer as well. In battle, she is far more aggressive than Superman is. And you can even tell this by her power-ups, where instead of the blue or the purple or even the gold that the others get, hers is blood red. And these are aspects, these are pasts and personalities that honestly Clark has never had to deal with. But Kara has to deal with that every single day. So, because she sees the world through a word ethos, nuance tends to hit her like a brick in the face. Jimmy liking her but pulling away, Clark loving her but isolating himself when he is depowered, Jonathan from the future being family but treating her like a threat or that she doesn't exist. These are all contradictions that confuse the hell out of her and cause her great pain, in fact. Not because she's dumb, because she's not, but because she values the honesty and trust above everything. That's also part of the warrior ethos. You watch my back, I watch yours. And she's seeing that there are times where the people that she loves and trusts the most aren't doing that, quite frankly. Moreover, when she is confronted with an alternate version of herself during a contest, she sees that person as not as evil like her past is, but still far more colder and ruthless, more determined to win, having zero empathy about others or anything of the sort. And without the support of others, people that she trusts and brings into her circle, those aspects of her personality she's afraid will come more to the forefront and will essentially just make her into that person. And before that contest, she believes that she has no other choice but to become that person, because she's realizing that she can't depend on other people. It's one of her few vulnerabilities, and it scares her because it's something that she can't just simply vaporize or punch through. Yes, Kara craves affection. She's confident, don't get me wrong. She won't tolerate disrespect, but she also wants the closest of others, having been living as an isolated soldier for so long. She wants to belong to something and to be accepted. She envies Clark and Lois because their bond is stable, mutual, and unwavering. And she says this when she confronts Jimmy the first time about wanting him to be her mate. She wants that same thing, and thus she also fears rejection, since it's something that, again, she can't physically fight with or overcome. Kara's interactions with Jonathan, Kent, and Lane from the future really put this on display, because upon finding out that they are the future children of Clark and Lois, she immediately adopts them as part of her found family, of course, no questions asked, and thus is even more hurt by their initial rejection. In particular, Jonathan Lane, because he seemingly didn't have her back. That's two strikes right there, because not only is he hostile towards her, but he's breaking that word ethos that she values so highly. And again, yes, and might as well deal with it now, there's Jimmy Olsen, but here's the skinny. Kara's attraction to Jimmy is very simple at first. She likes him, and he likes her. They should mate. End of story. But Jimmy's insecurities throw her off completely. He cares for her, but he doesn't believe that he's worthy of her, seeing himself more as Superman's buddy, but not really having much value for himself as an individual. Not when having to deal with someone who is so genuine and real like Kara is. So when Kara ends up struggling with her identity and needing people to talk to basically lean on, Jimmy pulling away feels like a betrayal. Not a malicious betrayal, but a painful one nonetheless. And even more so that he didn't tell her about his honest feelings until he opened up to someone else about it and she caught him red-handed. This is a pain that she just can't physically overcome like she does everything else. When Jimmy does seem to finally come around, Kara checks him at the end of the series. She doesn't reject him, but I think she's testing him, giving the tone and the way that she's interacting with him at this point. Because she still cares for Jimmy. Jimmy hasn't completely broken that trust, but he almost broke it. And he needs to rebuild that because, again, more than anything, that is what Kara values most. She needs to know that Jimmy has her back, no matter what. It's also worth noting that during the Mizaplit contest, Kara does realize something very crucial here that affects how she sees herself going forward. That you don't just accept the world, you can reshape it. And this was something that she hadn't realized before because, again, she doesn't handle nuance very well. But once she realized that, that was a major turning point. And she starts navigating those nuances instead of crashing into it or running from it. So, thus, she challenges Jimmy. She calls out Jonathan. She adapts without losing her identity. She doesn't have to change who she is in order to change the future. She remains the continent warrior, but she becomes a wiser one in the process. And that's important because the other version of her, both her past self and her alternate version self, were not these. Kara knows that she's a stranger to Earth culture, but she doesn't care. She accepts it outright with no questions asked. She doesn't feel like a fish out of water. She doesn't shrink herself because she is basically an outsider in that culture. She has opinions. She has takes on the people she protects and the people that she loves. And, unbeknownst to most people, except ironically enough, Jonathan Lane, she silently critiques them. When Jonathan vents about being compared to Clark's perfection, where he's dead in the future, she tells him flat out that people see Clark as perfect because he never gives up. But she knows he is the farthest from. She knows his flaws and has also told him to his face. So Kara's not quiet and she's not passive. She's not Supergirl with a dress. She is her own force, and she has her own thoughts and opinions about that. So, Kara is the most interesting character in the series because she exists in contrast. Clark the Protector versus Kara the Warrior. Lois the Investigator versus Kara the Direct Challenger. Jimmy the Insecure Romantic versus Kara the Emotionally Straightforward. Her identity shines brightest when it's reflected against others and how she relates to others. That a solo show would basically flatten her personality because it shines brightest when her identity is reflected against her relationship to others. This is Fictional Mindbender. Have a good day.